The Oruga Podcast.
Somehow somebody's always looking the other way. Now look at these guys. They look busy, right?
You know how far Catholicism goes to sanctify the writers? Their explanation of how the Bible was written is that the writers were writing for God. That God intervened while they were writing to sanctify the Bible. Okay? Christian or the Catholic religion literally taught us that they didn't write it, God wrote it through the
Holy Spirit.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. And it's like such nonsense. You're like, what?
Hey,
you're like,
can
I write some fire like that? Like, God,
believe.
Please come down. I want to write some fire poetry.
That'd be pretty hard.
Wouldn't it? But it just like such nonsense, dude. Like, all these people are just people. Well, you can't tell me that they're more special than the people that are around today.
You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised. You're telling me these people without water, without electricity, without a fucking ink pen and a computer, they were more special and intelligent and more aware of the world around them? You can kiss my ass.
Osteen, man. Look at Joel Osteen. There's a reason why he's rich.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I would agree with you. Joel Osteen is more impressive than Jesus Christ himself, because Jesus Christ didn't have billions, did he? Joel Osteen's got billions. Fucking, that's my Jesus Christ.
Welcome to the Op. Be sure to check out Oruga's shop. We make shirts and hoodies that are comfortable and stylish. Follow @ShopOruga and visit orugastore.com. That is ORUGA store.com. Beat produced by Saipuda. Check him out at saipudabeats.com.
Welcome back to the Op. I got Kahaya and Nolan sitting in front of me, and we had a fucking long-ass recording about, like, West Side Gun, and we're talking about the cocaine incident at the White House, but the file corrupted, and we do not have any of that fucking recording, which is super sick. So we're, like, starting from scratch. But, hey, check out the Oruga Podcast merch. It is coming out in, I want to say August. We'll have a couple shirts on the store. And then check out our other collections like Monochrome, Thermal, Work Week, Holy War, Collabs, Essentials, fucking Hometown. I think I just listed all the collections, which, dude, we have over, I think we have 69 products on the fucking store now. 69. And that's such a good number, so pretty excited about that, actually. Still on the whole thing, like, why won't you do anal with your girl?
Oh my god, we just corrupted that file, bro. That's why I got corrupted. You're sitting on the mic.
Oh, I was sitting on the mic?
And Jesus saved me. My mom prayed for me.
Not to harp on it all the time, but isn't that a funny-ass podcast?
All In podcast with, is that supposed to be LGBTQ?
It's Christians affirming LGBTQI.
Oh my god. Dude, okay.
Wait, what?
I was looking at a...
confusing.
Dude.
That's what I said.
I saw a few Lutheran churches have their gay flag, or have a gay flag on the church steeples. Right. Literally like a signal, like, hey, come to church. Hey, you guys over there, come to our church. We welcome the LGBTQ. Like, that shit's so fascinating that a church is going to be like, we need to get these groups into church because we don't have enough people. Like, that's the whole church economy is really fascinating to me, that churches have economies and that they need profits. They need money. They need donations. That is how a nonprofit works. And that churches are labeled as nonprofits, so they need money.
Right.
And they're just juicing their little minions for cash every week. They're like, here's a bowl. Please put cash in it. Like, it's so wild. Like, I went to, what do they call that? Crossroads? Crossroads, yeah. The big stadium Baptist church.
I don't know how many there are, like, nationally, but they're probably really popular.
In Cincinnati,
It's not
there's
just
like...
one.
Oh, no.
What?
It's a national thing. Or at least, I don't know where the fuck they started.
Tri-state thing. I don't know if they've expanded.
They have one on the east side. They have one in like Kenwood area. Like
Norwood.
Norwood, that's what they call it.
Next to that
Eastwood.
Eastwood, I know. Norwood, and then they have one in Florence. And yeah, those fucking churches are so weird. They and they do that shit too. They pass around a wood circle with a hole in it, and then there's like a knapsack almost like connected to it. So you pass around this like wood
Oh yeah, for money.
For money,
Yeah.
and they like do it very discreetly. It's really kind of creepy because at
How do you do it in your church?
And that's what I was about to say, is in Catholic Church, they're like, donations are passing around. Please give us money to survive. Like, they had no disgrace about it. They knew what the fuck was up. Like, they would be like, they would have readings, they would have the prayers, and then they would have people to pray for. Like, oh, we need to pray for Mrs. Schultz because she has cancer. And blah, 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 blah. And then after that, they'd be like, God, pray for us. Now, cash is passed around. Or the donation baskets are coming around. Please donate. And then they would kind of go on with the service. And, yeah, they had no disgrace about it. They had no shame about it. They're very shameless. Because, shit, they need money. You see this? You see the electricity on? You see the AC on, people? It's nice and cool in here. Pay for it.
Yeah, they are very much less discreet about it.
Yeah, at least they only have it running for like one day, but they probably have things going on all week. But
there's no way they're kicking off the AC. They're keeping the paint on the walls. They're gonna have it at 72 all the time, so the rafters stay up, so the paint stays on the wall, so the little... Yeah, of course.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're not gonna spend. If they're not gonna get money from their area, they might get some cash from the what's that called? It's not like the district. It's
the parish.
Yeah, it's like the local community of churches. I forget what they call it.
It's a parish.
The parish is the church in the area.
Diocese.
The Diocese of Covington.
How do you know this?
I've been brainwashed.
Yeah. It's all brainwashed, bro. It is really crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like and as a young kid I hated it. As a young adult, I hate it still. Like, it is just absolute brainwash that they give us. Like, can I be honest for a second? Jesus Christ. Probably a human being, probably a normal guy. He probably had a wife. He probably liked fucking his wife.
Yo.
Yeah, you say yo. But that's like saying that Hunter Biden likes fucking his wife. or he likes fucking those prostitutes. Hunter Biden and Jesus are the same to me because they both like fucking prostitutes. Just
Yo.
Just kidding.
Modern day.
Cancel Preston. Cancel Preston.
But what I'm saying is that it's so crazy to me that Christian people can't separate reality of what like human beings are today and the mystical idea of what Jesus Christ is. Jesus Christ was pure. He was beyond human. He was 100% God and 100% human. He never fucked Mary Magdalene. That's the crazy part about Christianity, is they never say that Jesus Christ was a virgin.
Only Mary.
Only Mary was the virgin. Only Mary, Mother of God.
Interesting.
She was the virgin. They never dare say that Jesus Christ was a virgin. But it's implied, isn't it?
I mean, someone of such holy stature, I wouldn't see why he would dabble in such devious deeds.
Ever, bro. It's the best part about being a human being. Like, don't even get... You look at me with... But you fuck Ashley.
No, I don't. I'm waiting until I get married, and I'm gonna have kids one time, and that's it. That's where I draw the line. Don't know what you're talking
My
about.
dick goes inside out when I see her vagina.
Yo. That's crazy. This guy telling me about Christianity.
You want to change this?
And I was told that Halloween wasn't around long enough.
Yo, that's crazy. How can I avoid this subject as hard as I possibly Okay, I'm done now. What the fuck are you talking about?
So, I was working this job and I met this guy, Unreliable Source. I promise you it's recording.
Alright.
Unreliable Source, and he was telling me, that,
Go! Fucking
you.
speak, bro.
He was telling me that Halloween wasn't, like, celebrated when he was, I wouldn't say when he was a kid, but maybe when his parents were kids. Like, it was brought in by the...
What continent are we talking about right now?
Here, U.S.
Okay.
Is it a
So the people
religion that doesn't celebrate it?
Like, Christians didn't celebrate Easter, they didn't celebrate Christmas, Halloween, like a vast majority.
I don't believe
pagan.
That was all pagan holiday.
Yeah, so like they invited the pagans over to the church.
And you saying this is American?
I mean,
Are you talking out
this
your
also
ass?
happened in America, didn't it?
This was no.
That happened years ago.
That happened in Europe. So I don't remember the
like Mayflower.
Holy shit!
My bad.
They aren't even the fucking same religion.
I see.
They are not even Christian. They were Protestants. Protestants were getting kicked out of England because of their rigid ideology of religion, and they were
remarried, and they didn't find that right in the UK, so they all just moved. They're like, we're gonna follow the real religion instead of your made up one that you're bending the rules on the Church of England for.
Yeah, but the change of pagan and Christianity being merged was during the Roman Empire, when an emperor, his whole life lived pagan, but then at his deathbed converted to Christianity and had the entire empire convert to Christianity. And when that happened, they obviously saved all the holidays and converted them into Christian holidays. So the pagan religion celebrated Earth's natural, natural times during... So, like, the winter solstice is... I don't know what it was for pagans, but now the winter solstice is, Jesus Christ's birth.
Right.
Okay? And then Easter is the spring solstice. Actually, I don't know if it's called a solstice, but it's called a mid-something.
Equinox?
The mid-equinox, yeah.
Well, there's winter, or no.
I thought it was winter and summer solstice, then the fall equinox and the...
Yeah, you're right.
And the spring equinox.
I got it mixed up.
So the fall equinox is now Halloween, which is All Saints' Day. And then, it's supposed to be All Saints' Day. Or, right? Am I right about that?
I don't know what day the winter, or not winter... I don't know what day the fall equinox falls on.
But Halloween is more of a Spanish holiday, I feel like, that we integrated into America. I don't think... Like, Halloween obviously didn't originate from Europe. But Easter for sure came from the Roman Empire.
I see.
Yeah, the fall equinox is the last week of September. So September 23rd is this year.
September?
September 23rd.
And October 31st is the or October is in October Halloween?
Yeah.
So I'm like a month off?
A little bit.
That's fascinating. I don't know why
Yeah, you're a month and a week.
Maybe
off.
it is more of like a Spanish thing than maybe.
Man, that's fascinating. I don't know why it's a month off though. Huh.
Are you talking about
Roman calendar versus our calendar?
Well, it's
Are you
just
talking
the
about Day
it's
of
just
the
the fact
Dead?
of
You talking about Day of the Dead?
yeah, I guess Day of the Dead, yeah.
What about it?
That we attributed Spanish culture with Halloween. Like, where did Halloween originate from? Was it was it the Spanish?
I definitely think it was like the South instead of like some pagan or Viking holiday type shit, you know?
Mm-hmm. What was your story like? So going back to your story about, go ahead.
He
sorry.
was saying like, what you said earlier, like for example, the trees and the star in the tree
Okay.
came from the pagans because they like nature and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying like that's bad. The church has been inviting so many people from all these different cultures into, not cultures but like religions, into the church. And instead of making them like be fully Christian, we're incorporating what they do. Like we
Yeah.
want to make them feel comfortable.
Yeah. Which
And
is a
then-
good thing. I have to say, as like that is the right thing to do.
If you want to make as much money as possible, you know what I'm saying?
I don't agree
think
with you.
that?
Nah. Because okay, like it just seems like it's the whole colonization kind of argument. Like, do you or the Indian argument that the the Americans, quote unquote, came and took over the Native Americans' land, all right? And then in some cases, these Americans would take the Indians' children, the Native Americans' children, and would take them and raise them as their own, as like upstanding American citizens. That's fucking shitty. And that's what you're telling me is what they should do, is they should force a culture onto them and not accept what culture they came from and maybe make some exceptions here and there.
Looking for comfortable? Looking for comfortable and stylish apparel? Something right up your alley? Oruga has a collection for you. Monochrome features sleek black and white designs. The Workweek Thermal features pops of vibrant color. Check out orugastore.com for unique styles and streetwear.
I feel like if you're gonna like choose a religion, you can't cut corners. Like if you want to go to the Buddhist temple,
Yeah.
you're not gonna go full headed of hair and like do crazy American stuff there. You're gonna respect it.
Yeah.
So why is Christianity being like disrespected? You know what I mean?
Sure, but let me tell you is that I'm really into Hinduism and Buddhism. I don't really know the difference yet. I haven't made a decision on which one I would like more. But I will say that, of course, I'm going to go to some Hindu temples and not shave my head. Okay?
I thought you
don't-
had to for the Buddhist ones.
Well,
Stuff
to
like
be
that.
a monk,
I
yeah,
see.
for sure. But as a tourist,
You're taking
or-
up that way of life.
Yeah, I'd rather just like not do. I'd rather not have to assimilate to their culture, but I'd like to experience their culture and their way of life. But I don't feel like I have to change to experience what they do. Of course, I would never act out, and meaning like be disrespectful to their culture and assume that they're the same as me. But I wouldn't assume that I have to put on a robe, wash my entire body with fucking whatever they, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I shouldn't have to assimilate to what their daily ritual is to be able to go there and respect it.
But what if you wanted to be a monk? What if you wanted to join in big time?
Yeah, of course. But let me give you the argument. Don't you think that people who... You're talking about being a priest,
Sure,
right? In the
yeah.
Catholic Church.
Sure.
It's the same thing. So if you're saying that, like, if I'm... Let's say I'm, like, a Filipino, and I, like, go... I don't actually, that's not even a good example. Let's say I am from Hinduism and I'm going into the Catholic Church.
Right.
Then if I wanted to be a priest, I would have to do all the philosophy studies. I would have to go to college for it. And then you'd have to be able to read Latin. And then once you go through all the courses where you know all the sacraments and you know all the jobs and you know the theology, then you can be a priest, right?
Right.
So how is that cutting corners? How is that you're saying that the pagans won in Christianity and in Catholicism almost?
I think that in today's modern age, man, I actually don't know, but I will say my bullshit.
Say your bullshit.
I think that if I wanted to, I could start a church and just do straight nonsense. Just fool people and just get as many people to come in and just do complete nonsense.
Are you talking about religion in general? Because you're talking about religion in general. That's every religion.
I think so, yeah.
Every religion's nonsense.
What are those crazy religions called where they kill all the members? The cults.
You're so hilarious. Like the Johns Hill something.
Yeah.
The Johns Hill Massacre. Was that what it's called? Where they drank the Kool-Aid and everybody committed suicide besides him.
Yeah, you're talking about, I don't know what his name was, but it happened in the 70s.
Can you look that up? The Johns Hill
70s or 80s or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
In the 60s.
But then there was and I've been like really diving deep on the whole, on cults.
Jim Jones,
yeah.
That's what his name was.
What? Dude, you did not just look that up. Jonestown Massacre. No, you gotta... Jesus.
Let me look it up, right?
Stop! There it is. All right. Yeah.
Images? Or?
No, I don't want images. No. The Jonestown Massacre was a mass murder-suicide of the People's Temple...
918. Jesus.
No, you read that wrong. Where do you see 918 people died?
On that wiki right here.
What?
That's pretty crazy. They attacked a congressman. And then he killed everyone. That's insane. What'd they put in the Kool-Aid?
Fucking arsenic or something?
That's terrible.
I just can't imagine.
That's terrible.
If that happened nowadays, dude, that'd be
embarrassing.
That'd be talked about for a good 5 or 10 years.
Nah, it'd be 3 days in the news cycle and out.
900 people.
Then Hunter Biden would bring some other substance into the White House.
Yeah, and then that would be the top article.
Yeah,
Hunter Biden found
the reason why the Secret Service is like making the cocaine story like a big thing is because they either thought it was arsenic or what's that other substance that they cut coke with that's synthetic. It's really lethal, and it's what kills everybody. Fentanyl, yeah, because it's the same colors. It's like it's all white.
So many chemicals are all white. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but they all have a different kind of like feel to them, right? They all have like
yeah.
So like you can kind of, because like let's say salt's white.
Yeah.
But you can tell the difference between salt and I would assume a powdery form like fentanyl or cocaine, because it's like it all has like a different types of substance feeling to it, I guess.
Even the look, but then if it's in such a small amount,
if it's like
tricky,
really small grains, you mean?
And a little bit, like I think the statistic is like a pin of
fentanyl
can like kill an elephant.
Yeah.
So it's like dangerous, man.
I mean that's like the crazy part about all of that is that they might, let's say they have a batch of cocaine, okay, and these cartels are, sending it out. There's a chance that they didn't put fentanyl into the cocaine, but that the baths or the containers that they hold all this cocaine in has residue.
That's crazy.
Of fentanyl or any other drugs that they splice it with. So it could have contamination.
Right.
And that's the same thing with a lot of pills that are coming from China. There's they just don't clean their facilities properly when they make pills, and when they capsulize the pills, they have many cases of where they'll find other residue? of residues of other substances. I don't know how it affects the particular person that does take it, but I mean, I've read a few things of like how that's a big deal. I mean, they were educating me in that in a couple of classes about how how chemical residues really stick to surfaces, and you really got to clean and make sure that everything's okay, that everything's like not going to be contaminated. But this Jones Hill massacre thing, Jonestown. What did I keep saying? Jones Hill, yeah. Anyways, all religions are nonsense. You can create a cult. I mean, I think there's a reason why, okay, you know how there's like some people like this guy, whoever ran the Jonestown, who was the main guy though?
It says Jones.
Jim Jones?
That's her name. Yeah, Jim Jones.
So, I could imagine where Jim Jones is also, like, he had 1,000 people follow him, okay, for his spirituality. If he corrected a little bit of his crazy nonsense that he was teaching people, he probably could have gotten more followers. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's probably hard to convince 10,000 people to commit a mass suicide, but it's probably much easier to only have 1,000 people, right? So, like, numbers are a big issue if you're going to really try to lead people into committing a mass suicide with you. So my point is that, like, if you corrected your ideology to be a little more logical, you can get a bigger following. And there's this guy on Twitter, I forget his name now, but he literally just tweets 24/7 about how he's the reincarnated Christ.
No way.
And he has like 40,000 followers.
That's crazy. And
he tweets all the time. Nobody's gonna ever censor him because that's the whole thing with Twitter now. Freedom of speech.
You don't do the little fact check.
What are you gonna fact check? You know what I mean? Like, you're talking about a belief system.
Dang.
You can't tell me that Jesus Christ rose from the dead. You're not going to be able to fact check me on that shit.
You bet.
If you do that, I know that you're insane and you shouldn't have the ability to fact check.
You know how many Walking Dead episodes I've seen? I see zombies in my sleep.
Looking for an out-of-this-world poster or some stickers to brighten your mood? Check out the Posters and Prints collection on our website, orugastore.com. Our artworks are perfect for walls, mood boards, and anywhere you want to accessorize.
So, Kahaya, if you were to create a cult, what would it be surrounding?
For everyday average people.
Food.
Food?
Oh.
It'd be surrounding food?
Yeah.
That'd be fascinating. I think you could actually get pretty far with that one.
Exactly.
I think I'm going to do karma system.
You could do healthy food. People could get behind that really quickly.
Yeah. But then, during your, like, Pentecost, be like, let's fucking eat like pigs.
Yeah. In public. And then everyone that's, like, known for eating bad in public, they're like, oh, that guy's a blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Oh, my God.
Of that religion.
That's the natty followers. Those fucking fat fucks eat out on Fat Tuesday like pieces of shit, but then the next day they're eating a salad. Fucking assholes.
Yeah, you just discriminate them because they eat like shit in public on one specific day of the week.
Yeah.
Like, those fuckers.
I think in my cult, I would assimilate the idea of the Jehovah Witnesses, where they go up to your door and they're like, hi, do you want to join Jehovah? Here's a flyer.
No.
Actually, we low-key it just popped up in my head that fucking Catholics, they drink on
Sundays?
Yeah, on Sundays.
Yeah, they drink alcohol. On Sundays.
So I could get a large following with a food cult.
I think you could actually create a community with that too, because the whole idea of like eating together as a human being, like eating in a group, is like forget how they say it, but
pack mentality type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. You're eating together, so that's your community. That's why I would say like grade school lunches and high school lunches are so memorable, is because everyone's in this fucking cafeteria and you're all eating together. And it makes you feel like it's your pack, quote unquote. And like that's why that's like so memorable, is because like you're eating as a group, or like why you have family dinners and like you all sit together at the dinner table. It's just the pack mentality, man. And you could really get far with that as a cult. I think my cult would be more like, the universe is us, and we are the universe. I think I would start doing that shit.
That's kind of going into like the Jonestown kind of thing, isn't
it? You pull up where Jim Jones said that as
wasn't there? I don't know if it's this cult, but there's a cult where it's like they all
aliens
died. Yeah, and they were gonna like take them up into space.
Are you talking about Heaven's Gate?
I think that's probably it. Yeah, it is Heaven's Gate. Yeah.
I remember Uzi based his album off that.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, man, and that's where the thing, it's like, when there's more lore to your religion, you'll get a bigger following. I mean, that's why religion now, like the popular ones, like, you know, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, Catholicism, Buddhism.
Alright, here's a good question.
They're all old as fuck and they have all lore. What's your question?
Do you think, and I know that, like, there are some religions that are fake.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there are some fictional religions that are more widely followed than real life ones? So like
Scientology, bro.
Say take Star Wars, the Force.
Oh,
that's crazy.
How many people practice the Force or almost say that that's their religion?
What about Hogwarts, bro?
Yeah, or
like
Hogwarts.
Naruto, like anime.
They're into some mystical shit.
Or what's Star Trek? The Kremlins, the Klingons, the Klingons. Yeah,
I know for a fact that there's more people that believe in the Force than Scientology.
That's crazy. That's pretty sad.
You have to be real.
Yeah, dude, that's a good thought, because if George Lucas made a cult right now, I think I would be at their fucking door knocking, like trying to, you know, whatever he's doing for his religious sacraments, I'm all a part of it, because I want to be able to levitate you above with my fucking force and then just like dude.
How do I get sanctifying grace?
How do I literally have a lightsaber with the force, dude? Like, I want that shit so bad. Yeah, I would join that. That's for sure. I mean, not to be a Star Wars fanatic, but like, it is a great movie series, man.
It's just crazy to think that there's a fictional, like, power, or I guess it is religion and within the universe, and it just is like reaching out into the physical world.
The Force. Force. What fictional religion would you be a part of?
It'd have to make me be able to stop time or something crazy,
Dude,
like
honestly,
some sort of superior.
I do like the powers in Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit.
Okay.
That'd be crazy.
The fucking crystal ball dudes, Saruman.
But you know what's crazy about everything we're talking right now? Is that these are all like superhero powers that we're talking about.
Already on there.
Yeah, like we're not going to get this shit. We're not going to be able to use the Force. We're not going to be able to use the Elder Ring. We're not going to be able to use any of that shit. But you know what? With Christianity, I wish I could rise from the fucking dead.
Do you really want to come back? I don't really want to come back.
No, God, no. Yeah. No, I don't want to come back.
Walking on water would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of that shit, that's where I know that they are such full of bullshit. Imagine...
I think it's lost in translation, for real. It has to be.
Walking on water?
Yeah, that, like, statement.
We're turning water to wine? I bet it's lost in translation. I bet he was like, when they came, fucking took the water away and the servers brought the wine. Water to wine, bitch.
Jesus was just the plug for alcohol at that wedding party.
Oh my God.
He was the bootlegger.
He was like, yo, you guys need wine for your party? Get that cheap water out of here. I got you guys.
Hey, yo, Peter. Go over here with that wine.
I heard that.
Simon? You ain't no Simon. Sorry. Go ahead,
I
what?
saw some stupid short and it was like Jesus was walking on shallow water, basically. Mm-hmm. That was it.
Okay.
And there's lost in translation. That's what I heard.
Yeah, all of that, it's all lost in translation because all these motherfuckers lie. Like, come on, don't you know how far Catholicism goes to sanctify the writers? Their explanation of how the Bible was written is that the writers were writing for God, that God intervened while they were writing to sanctify the Bible. Okay? Christian or the Catholic religion literally taught us that they didn't write it, God wrote it through them.
Holy Spirit.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. And it's like such nonsense. You're like, what?
Hey,
you're like,
can
I write some fire like that? Like, God,
believe.
Please come down. I want to write some fire poetry.
That'd be pretty hard.
Wouldn't it? But it's just like such nonsense, dude. Like, all these people are just people. Well, you can't tell me that they're more special than the people that are around today.
You'd be surprised.
You're telling me these people without water, without electricity, without a fucking ink pen and a computer, they were more special and intelligent and more aware of the world around them? You can kiss my ass.
Osteen, man. Look at Joel Osteen. There's a reason why he's rich.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I would agree with you. Joel Osteen is more impressive than Jesus Christ himself, because Jesus Christ didn't have billions, did he? Joel Osteen's got billions. Fucking, that's my Jesus Christ. I'm just kidding.
Got him on like little candle.
I just like how he talks so just innocently with his southern accent. It's very sweet, and I can understand why there's a whole religion just to how he talks, and everything's just gonna be fine. God's gonna save you. God's gonna christen you into going to heaven, and you will have eternal peace until you come back again.
And we got to be ready.
Visit orugastore.com today and enter the discount code OP15 for 15% off your order on all Oruga merch. Free shipping for orders over $50 is available as well. Thank you.
I think Christianity does great things for people.
Yeah, of course. And I do, I'm trashing on these religions so heavily, but, like, of course there's a reason for religion. People are lost, and they need something to look up to. And there's a great moral, like, belief system with Christianity. I mean, like, the Ten Commandments is pretty good. I mean, that's a great way to live your life. And then it's also, like, treat your neighbor like yourself, and, love your neighbor, all those things are really, like, and what Jesus Christ really preached, those are really some beautiful ideas of just how to respect people, how to let them live your life, but you should live your life to the fullest, and how, I mean, like, there are some really powerful things about, like, martyrs of Catholicism, where there's some cases of where a martyr, a person being killed for their beliefs, will be crying for the person who is killing them, because they feel sorrow that they will never understand what true peace is.
It's pretty crazy.
It's pretty crazy, and it's a really great, like, that's a really great story, and it's a really great idea that you should, yeah. I kind of lost my point, but, like, of course religion needs to exist, and of course there needs to be, like, a moral upstanding to people, because we're pretty lost right now. Like, as a human race, we seem pretty lost, because we're fucking... have you seen how many nuclear bombs have gone off on the world?
No, actually.
Dude.
Didn't they, like, slow down pretty recently? Recently,
for sure. But, like, there's fucking, like, 200 or 300 nuclear bombs that went off in Nevada, bro.
Yeah.
In the desert, they nuked that fucking hole. a million, like, not.
Was it just Nevada or was it more than that?
For American testing, like that was their safest place to test a nuclear bomb was Nevada.
Man,
But I
would
mean,
you
like
even
Russia was
trust-
doing it everywhere. Russia was doing it in the ocean. Russia was doing it like on islands.
Would you even trust living in Nevada, especially with all like, I guess it's old radioactivity, but still, it exists.
You know, but I don't know, dude, because they said in Hiroshima and Nagasaki that the bomb residue lasted for over a couple years.
Right.
And that's one bomb. But if you rebombed something over hundreds of times, I'd assume it would take a while for that shit to air out. But where is it airing out to? Is it just like diluting across the entire Earth? Where does this radioactivity go? Or does it fully decay? Is that what they're saying?
It has half-lives, so
Right.
it does decay. It might stay in some place, but I have no clue.
Yeah. So it begs the question, where does all this radioactivity go?
I mean, when Chernobyl happened, didn't they, like, block it off? I don't think they really expanded it at any point in time, like, the boundaries of where you can and can't go for Chernobyl.
Yeah, they were creating a dome over top of the facility, too. They were, like, building a dome over top of the original radioactive reactor, and that is, like, kind of containing because that also is producing a lot of shit. So if they cover up the facility, the factory that did blow up, it might mitigate a little bit of the radioactivity, but I mean that area is still fucked for millions of years.
Did you hear about the elephant's foot? Or it's like,
Yeah, I've seen it.
it's like a piece of, like, I don't know, like maybe radioactive slack or something. And I think it was said that if you look at it for 8 seconds, you'll die or something like that. Something crazy like that.
What?
Is that true?
I don't know about looking at it, but I know if you come into contact with it, you're definitely dying.
Yeah.
It's
Come
just
in contact, like touching it, like
it's
just,
like a
you're done?
huge mass of just waste, radioactive.
Happens when you die.
When you come in contact
Is that what you're looking up? What happens when you come?
with
What happens when you
No.
come?
elephant
Jesus, dude.
foot. Oh, snap. Don't.
Foe the pH.
Jesus. The ambient radiation from the elephant's foot is today low enough that a person can approach it, even touch it briefly, as long as there's no I don't know.
Oh, wow, that's pretty crazy. It takes about 1/10 of that to kill a person in 1 hour.
Look up
Dang.
images. What are you talking about? The elephant's foot. The fuck is this
This
thing?
is it.
Okay.
Kinda
What
looks
is
like
it?
an elephant foot.
Oozing out.
Yeah, it's just
It's
like
oozing out of the
waste.
tank or whatever.
Oh.
Radioactive waste.
Oh. So you're telling me that the radioactivity is creating an object that looks like an elephant's foot.
Yes.
So it's not actually an elephant's foot. It's
No.
really just... What is the chemical that they use? Or what is the compound that they use? Do you think it's...
Honestly, I think if I were to guess, I would say this is something that was cooling it down, but it had a whole ton of nuclearly charged, like, protons or neutrons just smashed in there. Like, it was calming them all down, and then boom, explosion, and all these nuclear reactive protons and neutrons and whatnot went into that mass, and it became super nuclear.
Okay. So you're saying that's the nuclear waste mixed with the cooling substance?
That's what I would assume. It's
Okay.
like something that, like, tones down
Yeah.
the.
Have you watched the Chernobyl like documentaries?
I have not.
There was so they would have like what's it like what do you call it when you have like a security test? Not a security test, but like a testing of some sort.
Routine.
Yeah, something along those lines. And that's what the workers thought it was a routine check
Oh,
of just
Safety.
a safety
routine.
like a
precaution.
fire drill type of thing.
Exactly. They just thought it was a fucking drill. And then something happened. They couldn't cool it down, and then they didn't turn the reactor off, and then fucking it just exploded. And yeah, well, yeah. The documentaries on these things are very interesting. It's been about 2 years, I guess, since I watched them, so I can't really recall fully, but how they did everything. I mean, they had diggers too dig underneath the ground to the main reactor to I forget how they did this, but it really complex shit of how they try to keep it under wraps and make sure that nobody knew about it, but then also that they would contain it, and it's lots of people died from it.
So do you think, what color do you think it is? Is it glowing? Because it's so...
Yeah, what's this imagery here?
This might be edited, but...
I don't think so.
I wonder what it looks like close up. Is it just goo? Is it ooze?
I bet it looks like charcoal, some tar, some lava substance.
Pretty terrifying shit, dude. I mean, it'd be terrifying.
I wonder who was the test dummy that they made touch it and was okay, now we know how long it takes until a person's dead.
Why would you want to
touching it?
Why would you want to touch it?
I mean, why wouldn't you want to touch it?
You won't do anal, but you'll do that.
The boundaries.
You're crazy. You're out of your fucking mind. There's no way I would ever touch radioactivity. There's no way I'll go into a radioactive area.
Fair.
Until I have children and reproduce.
That looks really gross though. Whatever's spewing out of that little
probably
thing.
You know that mold that's black and has all little flakes on it? It's hairy.
Black mold?
Is that black mold?
Yeah, I think so.
Asbestos too. Asbestos is gross.
Man, this looks like some...
And this is the word that, the whole nuclear explosion conversation of how these, I don't know, nuclear reactors always fail, and how the 70s versions were always pretty bad, but they say now that the nuclear reactors are a little more advanced, they have computers attached to them, so they're a little more sensitive, and they kind of know more of what's going on inside the reactor. But it's really crazy how much nuclear waste is created. Have you gone down that rabbit hole of nuclear waste?
I haven't. I heard they dig up landfills and put them in there.
They do that, and then there's also a lot of people who were throwing nuclear waste barrels into the sea.
That's crazy.
Dude, and they were doing that for years. Either China or Russia or even us were throwing nuclear waste barrels into the ocean, which is super toxic. I mean, you just don't recover from that shit. It is.
And then you have mutated animals and messed up coral.
I don't believe in the whole radiation will create mutants.
It does. It changes the DNA.
Yeah, but not something that'll survive for long. You're telling me that if you, because there was that the Japanese fish that had multiple eyes, right? Or some of them have one eye, and they do change DNA. I will agree with you on that. But how do they stay the same species? Meaning that, how do they survive several generations doing that? I just feel once you start going down that path of changing your DNA and going down that path of being a mutant of sorts, you go down a path of not being able to reproduce.
I agree. I think that
you do reach infertility at one point. I just don't know how much exposure you need.
Your chromosomes won't match. Your fucking reproductive organs are probably gonna get fucked with because that DNA is also changing. Talking out of my ass, I know, but
I know that there's butterflies that survived. No, not butterflies. There were butterflies that survived the industrial period, and I think it was either Britain or U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And the air was filled with ash and dust from all the coal that was being burnt, and these butterflies were of a white color, and all the ash covered everything. So, and soot covered everything. So it was mostly black. So the butterflies were easily targeted. So they they have a repressed gene that let them change colors. So I think if there are animals that have repressed genes to help them survive in areas that have a lot of radiation, those genes would come out.
Okay.
And then that gene would get passed down on and on and on.
I love the first article that you found. Go back all the way up.
Yeah.
Radiation turns earthworms on.
Yeah, low doses of radiation makes earthworms switch from asexual to sexual reproduction, but the effect disappears at higher doses. So I heard that earthworms changed over time because of radiation, and that they almost doubled or tripled or quadrupled in size over like 100 years or something like that. And I try to find maybe Google to back me up on that, but I clearly that did not help. But yeah, there are a few insect kind of, non-mammals be able to survive from radiation and change a little bit, and and their species still kind of survives and still kind of thrives. But I don't know. I haven't seen any successful shit with any mammals. Mammals kind of seem fucked from it. Every single time, human beings are the thing that populates the world the most, besides ants and
birds.
You think there's no one species.
Oh no.
Not
one species. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're one race at this point, and so or not one. We're one human at this point. Everybody can mate with everybody, and our chromosomes all match, which is wild. But we would know if radiation affects us in a positive way in low doses. You know what I mean? Low doses.
Chemo gets cancer out, so I don't know if anything.
Have you talked to somebody with chemo?
Yeah, of course.
They fucking hate their lives.
They do.
They're this is the worst.
Yeah, it's only a purger, right?
Yeah.
It purges you of that sickness.
It kills a lot of you, and it also kills the cancer cells too.
Yeah, it kills the good ones too.
Yeah, so that's why you fucking struggle. I mean, I've heard a couple people who've been I've gone through chemo. If I get cancer again, I'm not going through chemo again. I'll just die of that cancer and I'll be okay. Because I'd rather die of that cancer than I would die of chemo, because it's fucking horrible. But yeah, dude, radiation's not a positive thing. We would know by now if radiation would give me fucking LeBron James kind of abilities. Right. I'd be really sick if I could just go to the corner clinic and be can I have some I don't really want LeBron James kind of radiation, but I kind of want some Kevin Durant kind of. Get me taller, give me longer hands. For sure. Yeah, dude. Radiation's scary for sure. That's the whole dark tourism too. Of would you guys ever go to Chernobyl?
No.
Never?
I would never mess up my
future
healthiness.
Yeah. If I had a guarantee that I could go to a facility and all the radiation's gone, yeah. I would probably if in Japan they cleaned up some of those, and they're there's no radiation here anymore. You're welcome to tour the empty facilities and see everything, how it kind of exploded and how everything went wrong. That would be tremendously educational and kind of cool, right? I mean, it would be a cool experience to see the ghost town, right? But man, if there's radiation, that'd scare the shit out of me. That kind of tourism wouldn't appeal me. But yeah. What? Tell me, is there any dark tourist places you would want to go? Would you want to go see
the hidden side of Jamaica?
What's the hidden side of Jamaica?
There's a tourist part, and there's the part where people live in poverty.
Okay.
I'd say that's more hidden, not mainstream.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
It would be crazy. And I know this isn't dark tourism, but to go to Brazil and just see all like the stacked buildings that are just look like staircases going up the mountains.
Mm-hmm. What do they call those?
Is it favela?
Favelas?
Something like that. Favela.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
Yeah, those are really cool. That's an interesting spectacle too.
Yeah.
Because like it's very beautiful, but it's also very, very poor, very
dangerous.
Yeah,
very dangerous.
Everything looks like shacks almost. Everything looks like the roofs are made out of sheet metal.
And then at night, there's leopards that come down from the mountains.
Lepers.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
But there's leopards that come down from the mountains and from the forests and go through those cities and hunt dogs and cats.
What?
And they literally feed off of pets.
Damn.
Isn't that wild? Imagine going down your street and you see a 600-pound cat. Just like and you got your food.
I don't think you would be hearing it. I think you would hear the growl, and then you'd be like, "I'm fucked."
Yeah, you would be fucked. No matter, I could be the biggest, burliest man with the fucking ferocious fighting abilities.
It's the claws.
You die immediately. Yeah, the claws, the 600 pounds would fucking fuck you up.
The bite force.
Oh, yeah. Fucking bolt cutters for a jaw. Yeah. You seem traumatized.
I'm traumatized.
That sounds like some dark tourism, though.
Yeah.
Getting mauled by one of those cats while you're visiting.
Yeah, it'd be unfortunate. It's probably not your.
But hey, the healthcare though would probably be cheaper to take care of yourself getting mauled by a big cat in Brazil than in America.
That's like going to Spain and those running bulls, and you get pierced in the ass by one of those bulls. Have you seen that shit? People die all the time.
That's so disgusting.
That'd be the worst way to go out.
Yeah.
Pinned in the ass or some bullshit. Or the neck.
Huh?
Or like getting hit in the neck with the horn.
Oh, it just turns and it hits you right. Oh.
I don't know why you would participate in that shit.
And that's the thing. You need to, you're a pussy if you don't wear red. And red's like the aggressive color that they go after. So if you don't wear red, you're a pussy. And if you don't run close to them, you're being a pussy about it too. So it's like
for the Daredevils.
Exactly. And it's like that's the whole culture about it is like how close can you get to death without death?
It's like their version of roller coasters.
No, it's so extreme.
They don't have no theme parks. They don't have theme parks in Spain. I don't know.
It's like their version of jumping over cars while they're driving.
How could you even start
the New York
that?
sport? That's a whole sport in New York and Florida.
Sounds about right. New York and Florida.
Jumping over cars. That's like an Olympic event for them.
Jesus.
Jumping over cars. What do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean jump?
Cars driving like on a racetrack.
So they're going after you. They're like head on, and you just jump over the car.
And obviously, there's always someone filming from the side angle of you jumping like the whole 7 or 9 feet of the car. Well, it's going like 40.
It's like a TikTok thing sometimes, you know?
Yeah, those
it's definitely for the clout.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, why else would you be trying to hone in on that skill? You're doing that in front of a camera at all times.
Tom Cruise lifestyle.
Have you seen them go bad? I've seen a few go bad.
Yeah, where they get not sideswiped, but their legs get swiped and
and they go
end up on their back or something.
Or face first into the fucking tarmac.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Scary as shit, man. That's some Daredevil shit. So going to that topic, I saw this video on Twitter of these kids pulling a wheelie. They're on their one wheel and they don't
have a front wheel.
Into
traffic, and then they're about to hit a car and they move their back tire while they're doing a wheelie and to get out of the car's way. Like a millisecond away from getting hit by the car. They move and they don't hit the car. And it was giving me like fucking
anxiety,
palm sweating. Like I was just like deeply uncomfortable from this shit because, dude, I've ridden bikes all my life. I love riding bikes, okay? Bicycles are fucking sick, okay? But let me tell you, all those years of riding a bike, I hated doing wheelies. Why would I ride a wheelie where I can almost fucking get my head plastered into the ground? Like, I just never was into it. And for them to have that much control doing a wheelie, holy shit,
and then
dude.
skirting last second with their back tire.
And the crazy thing about the tweet I saw on Twitter of that video of those kids doing that is that the headline was like clickbait, where the tweet said, "This is a new trend of young teens, blah, 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 blah." And then Twitter fact-checked that tweet and said, "This is not a trend. This is a video from 2020. And where I'm like, here's the full context. And you could either click the tweet, or you could click the context that Twitter's trying to give. Like it was almost like a COVID band. You remember those COVID bands that were going around? Like, dude.
That's what I'm saying they should do that Jesus guy you were talking about earlier on Twitter.
Fuck that. let the idiots follow them. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I feel like you shouldn't have to declare if you're a parody or not.
I see.
Yeah, agreed.
So if you're doing like news crap, then you're gonna get yourself fact checked if you do something stupid.
Right, but I could say myself that I'm the new Buddha.
I see.
Who's gonna be like, he's not the new Buddha? We have to inform the population that he's really not the new Buddha. Like, if you do that, if you say that, you're giving him more clout. You're giving him more publicity for you not saying he's who he says he is. Like, yeah, I can't do a wheelie. I can't do a wheelie.
I can't do one either.
I love riding bikes. Have you ever, like, you were into bikes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Bikes.
Bikes.
It's been like fucking at least 8 years or 9 years since I've ridden a bicycle.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Man.
The scariest thing I've done on a bicycle is ride a bicycle down a big hill with no brakes.
With no brakes?
What?
You know, I used to do that all the time, and I'd put my foot into the wheel well, and then I would brake with my foot, and then I would basically ruin the toes of my shoes all the time. Yeah.
How would you trust that?
How would you trust that?
Yeah, that just doesn't sound trustworthy.
Oh, I did it for years.
Just on the wheel?
No. I'll put my toes in between the wheel and the
like frame of the bike.
Yes. And then that would lock it.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But, you know, sometimes if I was going really fucking fast, it would hurt my foot too. But like if you do that and keep balance, like, it's all fine.
That's creepy.
But
unfortunately, Preston,
you gotta go.
Disappear.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening to the op. Check out some merch. Don't be a cheap fuck. And then, yeah, thank you for listening.
Do you want to collect a free NFT? Well, head over to OpenSea and visit @ShopOruga to view our collections of digital art. Our most recent collection, Citation, is available now. Check it out. The Oruga Podcast.
Somehow somebody's always looking the other way. Now look at these guys. They look busy, right?